The pen as our sword. Newspapers and the shaping of modern India. Newspapers in India are more than just sources of information. They are powerful tools that have shaped public opinion, sparked revolutions, and documented the story of a nation. From the first printing press to the digital age, newspapers have been a cornerstone of Indian democracy, giving a voice to the voiceless and holding the powerful accountable. This journey through time takes us back to the days of the British Raj, where a single newspaper dared to challenge the colonial establishment. We'll witness the rise of nationalist publications that fueled the fire for freedom. We'll see how newspapers became chroniclers of a newly independent nation, navigating the challenges of a changing world. Finally, we'll explore the digital revolution's impact on the newspaper industry. How have newspapers adapted to the digital age? What does the future hold for this vital pillar of Indian democracy? Join me as we explore these questions and more. This is the Chronicle of Change. This is the story of newspapers in India. The birth of print, Hickey's Gazette, and the dawn of a new era. The year was 1780. India, then under British East India Company rule, saw the birth of its first newspaper, Hickey's Bengal Gazette. Founded by James Augustus Hickey, an Irishman with a flair for the written word, the Gazette was unlike anything India had ever seen. It was a window into the happenings of the time, carrying news, advertisements, and even a dose of gossip. Hickey, a man of ambition and conviction, used the Gazette to challenge the colonial authorities. He published articles criticizing corruption and highlighting the plight of the common man under British rule. This audacious act marked a turning point. The printed word, once a privilege of the elite, was now a tool for dissent and debate. However, Hickey's boldness came at a price. The East India Company, threatened by his critical voice, tried to silence him. He faced lawsuits, censorship, and even imprisonment. Despite the challenges, Hickey's Gazette laid the foundation for a free and independent press in India. It was a testament to the power of journalism and its ability to challenge authority and shape public discourse. Voices of Freedom, Kesari, Young India, and the Fight for Independence. As India progressed into the 20th century, the fight for independence gained momentum. Newspapers became powerful weapons in the hands of nationalist leaders, who used them to mobilize the masses and spread their message of freedom. Publications like Kesari, founded by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Young India, helmed by Mahatma Gandhi, played a pivotal role in this struggle. Kesari, written in Marathi, became a voice for the masses. Tilak, a fiery orator and writer, used the paper to awaken a sense of national pride and inspire resistance against British rule. His editorials, often critical of British policies, resonated with the people, making Kesari a symbol of defiance. Gandhi, on the other hand, used Young India, an English weekly, to promote his philosophy of non-violent resistance. His writings, marked by simplicity and moral clarity, reached out to a wider audience both in India and abroad. Gandhi understood the power of the press. He used it effectively to garner support for the freedom movement and expose the injustices of colonial rule. These newspapers, and many others like them, became platforms for national integration. They brought together diverse voices under the common banner of freedom. They served as chronicles of the freedom movement, documenting its trials, triumphs, and sacrifices for future generations. Pause 2S, the legacy of Indian journalism. As the echoes of the freedom struggle began to fade, the role of newspapers evolved yet again. The spirit of defiance and the pursuit of truth that fueled publications like Kesari and Young India continued to inspire post-independence India. Pause 1S. In the decades following independence, newspapers became the watchdogs of democracy. They held governments accountable, exposed corruption, and championed the rights of the underprivileged. Publications like The Hindu, The Times of India and the Indian Express carried forward the torch of fearless journalism. Pause 1s. Even in the face of censorship and political pressure, journalists stood firm, guided by the principles laid down by their predecessors. Stories of investigative journalism, such as the Bofors scandal and the emergency period, highlighted the critical role of the press in safeguarding democracy. Pause 1s. Today, as we navigate the digital age, the legacy of these pioneering newspapers continues to shape Indian journalism. Online platforms and digital news outlets have expanded the reach of news, making information accessible to a global audience. Yet, the core values of integrity, courage, and the relentless pursuit of truth remain unchanged. Pause 1s. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories from history.